Have you ever wondered what it is like to live in a world made out of electronic parts, zeros and ones? If you are a normal person, probably not. But don't worry, it's not just about some fantasy, sci-fi or whatever. Hopefully, at the end, you will learn something.
Who am I?
Hello. Can I ask you something?
Are you talking to me?
Of course, that I'm not talking with you. Isn't it obvious? I'm talking with the wind. Don't you see? You think that I'm that much crazy?
No, of course not. I was just surprised that someone like you is talking with someone like me.
Someone like me? What do you want to say with that?
I meant it as a compliment. I'm just a basic transistor. And you? You are so much more complex.
And because of that, I shouldn't talk with you. More complex means better? I mean, every woman is complex, so no guy should ever talk with a woman.
One day, I've got an idea. I am going to make a stop-motion film. I mean, how hard can it be? So, I decided that my world will be made out of electronic parts. Like this one. I want to keep it easy. Or, in other words, to not complicate my life even more. As easy as possible. So, I decided that I will be using paper. And Lego. Here comes the question. How do you make paper and Lego more complex? Wires. Many wires. I mean, when you see an electronic device with many wires, you automatically go, "Whoa, there must be something really complicated going on." Or maybe someone just doesn't know anything about cable management. Anyway, this is the simplest solution I came out with.
I finished building.
I was hoping that it will look a bit better, but you know, a creation is just as good as its creator. But to make it look a bit better, later on in edit, I made a green screen. It's not the best, but it will do its job. Hey, I'm calling from future, and what you just said could sound better. Well, but what can you do? What do you mean, what can I do? You are there, now, so do your job. Try to... I hope I was clear. So go on. But the hope is not lost. But the battle is not the... But to look in May. But the hope is not lost. To make it look better later on in edit, I made a green screen. It's not the best green screen, but it will do its job. Well, at least I hope so.
Oh yeah, what a great idea I had. Using a green screen on a green scene.
So, what now? We need to decide how many FPS we even want.
But maybe someone don't know what is out.
Then you probably don't even know what stop motion means. The question now is, what even is video? What is the difference between taking a photo and recording video? Well, by recording video, you're just taking many photos. Well, not you, your camera, but you understand what I mean. And now, what are the FPS? Well, if your camera takes 10 photos every second, it means that you record the video in 10 FPS.
Okay, now we are asking what all of this has to do with stop motion. Well, stop motion is just taking many and many photos. That's why it's very important to decide what FPS rate we want. For example, we want 30 FPS and we have a 5-minute long animation. It means that we need... I probably don't need... Alright, so why should I take so many photos when I can just record the video and all of the work will be done by the camera? I understand your point, like, why would someone want to take thousands and thousands of photos just to make 5-minute long animation? So what are the benefits of stop motion? First of all, it looks cool. Second, higher resolution. It's quite easy to understand, and if you take one photo in 1 second, it's in higher resolution than if you would take 10 photos in 10 seconds. Third, animation. And what do I mean by that? We don't live in Toy Story. Our things just don't move by themselves, they don't live. Well, and if they do, we don't live in Toy Story. And that's probably the most important reason why people even do stop motion. To do all kinds of fancy stuff with
that stuff.
I didn't mate. It was harder than I initially thought to take thousands and thousands of photos and for each photo move these little creatures
Frame by frame.
using this beautiful camera stand. I spent hours and hours cleaning up these little imperfections, and then I thought to myself, why stop here? Let's add some special effects for every frame. Yeah, that idea ended up. Let's not think about the hours I wasted here and take something positive out of it. At least I learned some basic photoshopping.
and
After the fun photoshopping part,
I wanted to combine all the photos in video editor.
another good idea of me. I found this open source video editing program. It looks quite professional, but sure I can handle it after hours of tutorials. But no one told me that just by moving this little slidey bar you can limit your RAM usage. Probably because no one is editing on 8 GB of RAM. You just click where you want to start and where you want to end. Anyway, I cut out my character and moved it around, and it didn't look so bad. So the next step was to just take few photos and then basically 3D scan my characters. But the problem is that they look like... The idea was to just take a static picture of the background and move the character around. But as you can imagine, trying to match the light on the scene to the light on the character is pretty damn hard. I'm not gonna do it all in Photoshop frame by frame. There must be some program for animating.
Blender is an open source software.
For 3D modeling, animation, and so on. Hours upon hours of tutorials. For me as a beginner, I found it easier to use Microsoft Paint and then export the finished model into Blender.
that got me thinking, wouldn't it be just easier to make everything in CG instead of mixing a CG model with a real photo? Then I don't have to worry about
Shadows and everything.
I'm working on this project for about 3 weeks, so let's use a 3D scan software. This looks nice. Yeah.
Open source.
First time it crashed because I didn't have some kind of fancy GPU, but thankfully for every error there is a solution. I don't know why, maybe it's because I don't have that fancy GPU. It's just taking too much time.
Alright, so instead of being a crazy monkey and doing random photos all around, what if I would use a bit of brain this time? Let's say that this is the item that I want to scan. What now? My strategy now is that I will take 5 photos from 5 different angles. And this process I will repeat from 12 different positions, which gives us together 60 photos, which is much more reasonable number than before.
So yeah, another hours and hours of wasted time. Now, what? I spent so much time doing something that in the end I don't even use in the final animation. It's really frustrating when you do everything what you can and it doesn't even matter. I wanted to give up. I spent so much weeks of work on this project. And for what? I'm still basically on the beginning of all of it. But you know what? It just feels wrong to give up right now. After all, we regret more things that we didn't finish than things that we failed. And if I don't finish it, at least I know that I tried my best and I can have peace in my mind. Rigging your model is so much fun! And for those of you who don't know what rigging means,
Like you?
well, it's just creating a skeleton for your model. Because the whole model, well, it's called mesh, is just a solid piece. And if I want, for example, to move their eyes, I'll need a skeleton for that. That's at least what I thought. After watching tutorials like
Rig any character in just few minutes.
I still don't know how to rig my characters. But it doesn't matter. I found an easier way.
So here we are, at the end. At some point, it's just better to start all over again than redo, redo, and redo. Right now I don't even know when I started. It's not like I spent all the time working on that one animation, dialogues or sound design, figuring out stuff, going back and forth. I know that dialogues in the animation could be better, the sound design and the whole animation, but I am at the point where I don't even care. I just want to finish it and start all over again. And if I just wasted your time, well, I'm deeply sorry. If it makes you feel better, I wasted much more of my time.
You're such a funny guy. Yes, finally. That's what I wanted to see. A smile on your face. Come closer. Let me tell you a secret. You look better with a smile. What was it before that you were so sad about, if I may ask, of course?
Well, basically, I already said that.
Oh, I see. So then, tell me.
Oh, hello. How are you guys? Isn't this a beautiful day?
Yes.
Yes, finally.
Oh, okay. I must go. Bye. No time to talk. Bye.
Ah, these resistors.
What's wrong with them?
I mean, resistors. They are everywhere.
So, my funny guy, if I understand it correctly, you feel bad because you are a transistor.
Yes.
I have 2 more questions. What's your name?
Well, they call me 2N22222.
I'm not gonna call you like that. Let me think. I'm gonna call you Z. Is it okay?
Yeah, I like it.
Nice to meet you, Z.
Nice to meet you too.
So, my last question, for now. Do you want to go with me on an adventure? It's a wonderful world. Let's explore it together.
Where are we going?
We'll see. Don't worry. Trust me.